Good morning. Just checking my audio settings. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Been maybe a week or two since I streamed. I was kind of, a little bit busy trying to help find bugs in 12.4.3 in various pre-releases. And I found a few, maybe quite a few. They fixed quite a few. And I have one remaining one. So the remaining one I have is that my Valve Index controllers, there's no VR controller image that basically shows me where my VR controllers are in the virtual cockpit. So it makes it, there's no way I could fly like this. That's just not going to happen. There is a workaround where I could change the, actually I can jump over there. It'll probably make more sense. So if I come over here and, so if I change this VR runtime to Steam VR, then the VR controller image is shown. And but what that means is none of the OpenXR stuff works. So like the gaze-based auto exposure, the variable rate shading. So none of that stuff's going to work if I do that. So it's kind of like, nah, we'll work through it. So to kind of explain what's going on here, you get over here. Here we go. There we go. So here's what's going on. I use a Big Stream Beyond 2E with Valve Index controllers. For some reason, Explain thinks that I have hand tracking. So when I first went ahead and first run this enable hand tracking, it was checked. So Explain thought that I have hand tracking, and so I unchecked it. But what I found out is that if I check this, I'll have these bluish hands, but they are not. They're not intuitive at all. Well, actually, I can just click it on. So you see these guys? So I'm going to go over in the cockpit. So we're going to go over here and we're going to try to. The flaps is kind of big enough that it seems to work. Same way as this. You come over here trying to make sure you're on the right switch. No, there's no way. This thing's monstrous. This is monstrous. It may be the same size as my hand, but it's monstrous. Where the VR controller image, you could take the tip of that VR controller image and you could select this one, this one, this one. But from looking at this hand, there's no way you can make a repeatable correspondence to where you should put your hands. Like I'm over here and it's not even highlighting this. Oh, I got to get way over here for it to get highlighted. It's like, this is not intuitive at all. And so I desperately need the VR controller image to be back so I can actually fly again. So we'll go, whoops, back in the hangar and turn these guys off. They do not help. So actually, let me look. I want to see. Yep, that's still there. So even though I have my hands on, that VR, so it's there. So what we go. So what I think's going on is that 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 is actually two VR controllers on top of each other. I'll go in the cockpit. It's much more visible. So I'll go in the cockpit, and I can see in my headset. I'm not sure if on the stream this comes over, but I can absolutely see that the one VR controller image is below the other one. It's not by a lot. It's by a a few millimeters. And but you can see clearly that there's two thumbsticks. There's two buttons. So if I push this button, you can see that button go down. The other button, you can see the button go down. So the functionality of the VR controller image is there. What isn't happening is that it's basically where the position is. This is basically the default center of gravity in this aircraft. That's where this was put, and because the position of my Valve Index controllers aren't being given to these two objects, they don't move. So they sit here where they were when I first got in the cockpit. If the position data was given to them, then they would work just like they worked before. What I believe is that because it thinks this headset is a hand-tracked headset, that it doesn't think it actually needs to do that. Is what I think is going on. But I filed a bug report for it, and we'll see what comes from that. But quite frankly, until this is resolved, there's no way I'm going to fly. Just especially not streaming it. No way. No way. I know how I used to fly in VR, and right now I can't. And disappointing, yeah. But I'm pretty hopeful that with my last bug report that I've conveyed the information well enough that should be able to get a result for it. Let me jump back over into the over here. Alrighty, so let me we'll change location and we'll click on here. So the VR keyboard has been changed. It's been improved. So I can grab a hold of this thing. I grab it here and I can move it around. If I rotate, nope, that one doesn't work that way. So there's two, and it makes it more fun with when I don't have my when I can't see the controller, so I can't put the tip of my controller up there. So this is as small as it'll get, and so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. That's good. A previous version, this keyboard was as big as what this easel was. So, but this is fine. So so we have lowercase. So we have upper and lowercase now, and we have symbols. So if I click on this button, so now we went to uppercase, and now we have symbols. So which we didn't have before, and so we go here. So that's kind of cool. And like I showed, we can make it bigger and smaller, and then if you want to hide it, it goes away. And I think, oh, and evidently because people complained that all the models in here were low res, then they're gone. So there ain't an aircraft in the hangar. Got a great big hangar, and you got a easel. That's what's here. So it is what it is. So I thought it was funny when I first come in. I went, "Oh, okay." I heard the complaints about the low res models. No complaints anymore. So, alrighty. So we go back in the cockpit here, and this is the screen you'll get to kind of going in between aircraft. We'll see how this ends up. I'm not sure yet. So you do have your bar seeing what. Yeah, I come right in the cockpit. That's good. So let me do this. Plugins. Show plugin admin. Okay. So I'm gonna take this guy. Trying to grab him. And I'm gonna put him like right here. All right. So I'm gonna go to a different airplane. So I'm gonna go to this airplane. So it gets a little weird. We're back here. I have real weather on. Because I have real weather on, I get to set on the wing. Wow, the lighting is a little weird right now. I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm sitting on the wing right now. And sooner or later, I'll get into the cockpit. Nope, now I'm back in the cockpit. So, but what is different for this version is that window was in the G1000, and it is in the steam gauge exactly in the same place where it was. So that's cool. So if you have open windows in VR, when you move to another aircraft, those windows will come along. They'll be right where you put them in the previous aircraft. So I'm kind of thinking, let me show one other thing. So let me do these windows. Let me do the map. So we got the map. And where am I going to put him? Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to hit my yoke. I'm going to put him right here. And I'm going to close him. So, map again. So where I left him, that's where he reopened. That's way better. So I have a couple. Where's the other one at? Let me reload. I'm gonna reload Lua scripts. Reload all Lua scripts. Okay, now I'm gonna look over here. So notice that where I was looking, that's where the window showed up. So this one here is landing rate. This one here is for my rudder pedals. So when the plugins start on previous versions, when the plugins would start, they would be attached to your headset. So they'd be kind of sitting in front of your headset. If you moved your head, they would stay with your headset. That does not happen anymore. What does happen is that wherever you're looking, then they will be kind of stacked. Look like they were stacked a little bit apart from each other. But they are where you're looking, but not attached to your headset. So it's just the direction you're looking, that's where the new where the windows will appear. So if I do this again, reload Lewis script files, and then I look over here. Notice that they're over here now. That's a pretty nice feature for VR. So, when you grab these windows, sometimes the positioning of them correctly isn't quite right. If you rotate it until it turns that color, then you have much more control on the angle. So that's flat. So, but when you initially grab them, that isn't true. But when it turns that color there, that gives you the opportunity to adjust the angle of the window if you needed to. Most of the time I have mine running right pretty vertical, but if you wanted to kind of lay it down a little bit or point the top away, you could absolutely do that. So, I'm in the wrong aircraft. Well, no, I'm not. So, we'll see. I know it works for the G1000. So, all right. That went amber. So in previous versions, if that went amber in 2D, that 530 would be here. That's been fixed. That's no longer true. So when you're in VR and you inadvertently click on that or click on that one, it doesn't show up in 2D here. I would inadvertently do that at least once a session. so that's good. So I showed that the windows, how the windows work, and I showed how the windows remember their position. Oh, and so all of these windows, if you look at the top here, it has a plus and a minus. So we can make it smaller. We can make it so small it's not readable. Let's see. Yeah, that's as small as it's gonna go. That's not readable. Oh, you can make it really big. So, all of the windows now in VR have the ability to change their size. So basically, what you have here is on the previous version, you had like a move bar that was across the top, and so what they did is they put this window back behind it, and added this bar here, and added these the minus and plus, and that this seems a bit excessive, but we'll see what the community thinks. So, I think it's excessive, but trying to think. The overall graphics. I'm not flying. I'm not gonna fly today, so no one stutters. I wouldn't know stutters unless I'm flying. So I'll leave that discussion for somebody else. And also, there's a couple of other things. I do have an eye-tracked headset, And I have played around with the variable rate shaders. And quite frankly, for me in this big stream beyond, I didn't see the benefit. Right now, I'm running, so my headset is 2560 by 2560. And I'm running 3560 by 3560. So I'm super sampling this guy by quite a bit. And I don't find the need to do anything with the variable rate shaders, because I think it's sharp enough in here already. So I'm going to see if I can see it. Yeah, you can see it subtly, and that is that's this. That's this. So gauge base auto exposure settings. So basically, and I'm not sure if this is going to come across in the stream. Let me try to, yeah. So if I look down like this, normally you're going to have this cockpit's going to be a bit dark. So what happens is, it's kind of cool, is just like your eyes do in real life. If you're kind of in a dark cockpit, your eyes are gonna open the what is it? The iris, the pupils. It's gonna open the pupils up a little bit, so it's gonna let a little more light in, so it's a little easier to see. The same way as if you come up like this, that's brighter there. So because it's bright, your pupils are going to go, oh, wait a minute, I don't need this much light. So it reduces them. With the, I believe it's eye-tracked headsets, this feature, that's how it works. And it's kind of cool, you know, I mean, so it's kind of subtle, you know, but it absolutely works. Because if I'm looking here, just out of the corner of my eye, I can see there's a pretty good shadow underneath the windscreen here. But when I look down, that brightens up. There's no doubt about it. When I'm here and I'm looking through the bottom of my lenses, and then I look here, when I'm looking at it, it brightens up. So that is absolutely working. So that's pretty neat. Things. Go back to the hangar. See if anything catches my eye here. So I went over this stuff. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hello. Yeah, like I said, for this here, for me and my big screen beyond, I don't see a benefit. Now I know I've heard people I think they were on like a G3 or something. They were saying that works great, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. We all have different experiences, so but oh, that sucks. uh long as you're here. So if you happen to have an eye-tracked headset that's gauge based auto exposure, I'll show you what that means. So I have it on the auto exposure mode of spot, and so these are kind of where my settings is. So this is how this works. So if I'm kind of looking up over top of the windscreen here, I can look on the bottom corner, the bottom of my lenses, and I can see this is kind of dark. But if I look down to look at it, that brightens up. That's all automatic. So basically, the same way your eyes work in a real cockpit, where if you look above it, you know, and go, oh, wait a minute, that's pretty bright. So your eyes kind of go, we don't need this much light, so they kind of choke it down a little bit. This with an eye track headset, this is doing that in the sim. So that's a slick feature. So. For me, I'm moving my headset. Yeah, so I'm looking straight ahead, and then I'm looking down. So that's a good point. That's a good point. The back over here. This gaze-based auto exposure, that is where your headset is pointed. The variable rate shading settings is eye tracking. They are different. Correct. That they're different. They're different. So. So have you seen this part here? Where whoops. Yeah, I've already done it. What do I want to show? Oh, this. So these are two Lua scripts. So I'm going to go fly with Lua, reload Lua scripts, and I'm going to look over here. I have one that's a little slower. Notice where it was. So whenever we'll say you start VR, if you have some plugins that immediately start, wherever your headset is looking, that's where they'll be. They'll be wherever you're looking, but they won't be attached to your headset. They will just be placed away from your headset, but in the direction you were looking. So now I can grab it. I'll show on the next one. So notice when I grab this, you see it's translucent. I can't adjust the angle. In other words, I can't like lay it down. I can't bring it back to me. But once I rotate it, and then it's this color, now I can actually change it. So that's absolutely new. So, and I just stumbled onto that by mistake. So, but if you have one of your windows that you can't get it to pitch, you know, all you have to do is rotate it and get it to be this color, this turquoise like. Once it's like that, then you can do whatever you want. So, kind of interesting. I can't. I don't have any cameras. And my new headset doesn't have cameras either, so. Trying to think. Anything you want me to show you? Yeah. let me show you. I can show you that. So, can you see two controllers? Can you see the two rings? I know I can see it in my headset, but I'm not sure you can see it in the stream. So there's two controllers, a left and a right on top of each other. So if I move the one thumbstick, you can see that move. That was my right. This is my left. My right button. You can see that button going down. My left button. Whoops. Had to find the button. Yeah. So you can, and I'm not sure. I don't think it's coming across in this on the stream. Is that you can see the top ring of the controller? You can see two of them. They're not exactly on top of each other. Now, if we go over here, it's even harder to see because I can't get any. I ain't gonna get on my knees to get closer. But what I think, and you kind of helped me with this, is that's, it almost seems like this is the default center of gravity for the hangar. And that may be the wrong term, but I think that's what it is. And because my headset is being seen by X-Plane as a hand-tracked headset, is there a chance that they just said, well, we don't need to update those images because you're using hand tracking? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Correct. Actually, 000, right? 3 zeros? That's what I think. And I'll show you in the cockpit, because I looked at that this morning. So, if I do this, if you look at this round circle here for the pilot, that round circle, the very first number is minus 0.3 something. So that's basically a third of a meter. And so it's a third of the meter to the left of the center of gravity of this airplane. That looks correct. The next one is, I think it's a positive 0.3 or something like that. So that means a third of a meter above where this controller is. That all, I mean, so what I looked at is in the VR config file, where am I in this position? And that all matches. So that's what's going on, is that the image, the two OBJ files, they're not giving new information as to where they should be put. They're just being left here. Okay. What I looked at is I looked in the VR config file for this aircraft. That's what I looked at. And the numbers. Right. Yeah, that's what I think. So I wrote a bug report that basically kind of described that, and then I did I sent you a link. I did a YouTube video kind of showing that, and I mean, it's kind of like, I would think you got enough information that you got to know what's going on. I mean, I don't see how you would not know what's wrong. If they can't figure that out, I'll be surprised. And I don't want to hear this. Um, so here's the funny part. The controllers work. The image is what's the problem. So if I, it's a, here, think about this. Think about, whoops. So you have no idea where your controller is. So you kind of have to like blindly reach here and then go, oh, that's where the knob is. Like I said, there is no way I can fly an airplane like this. That is a showstopper, you know. So, but it works. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that works. It's a damn image that doesn't. I mean, you don't think that's a bug? Seriously. You know? So I could kind of do that, but when you do that, oh no, why did my bot go crazy? I'll have to calm my bot down. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's like, but here's the deal. So over on the org, I asked other people that are using Valve Index controllers, and so far I've gotten 2 people to respond. One's using a Pimax Crystal Light, and the other one is using a Valve Index headset. So I looked up the Pimax Crystal Light, and I went, does that have hand tracking? Well, it kind of does, but you have to add a module. So I asked the question, are you using a hand tracking module? And he got back to me and says no. So that's exactly what this has to be. This is related to the fact that for some reason, X-Plane thinks that, well, I'll rephrase that. For some reason, Big Screen is basically sending information that says that headset does have hand tracking, and I think because of that, that's kind of breaking the VR controller image. It not breaking. It is not having it update the position. So, but it's only. I mean, isn't that funny? It's only the VR controller image. It's not this. This works. So it's like, really? Yeah. So I forgot to do that in the video. That was a good thought. You know, because when you said that, I went, oh, I forgot about that. That's kind of important. You know. So it absolutely has to know where the VR controllers are. It has to. But the VR controller image is what's not getting updated. Cool. Trying to think what else. Oh. I know where I was going. Now I remember. So, yeah, I wanted to do this. What do you think? Do you think that's big enough? So, the great thing is we can make it smaller. So, if I do VR, I'll move you out of the way. Come over here and grab this down. needless to say, we have a lot of VR stuff now. And I've been playing with a couple of these. A couple of them when I tried to play with them, it didn't play nice. It really was bad. So that's almost all of them. No, it isn't. Wow, that's a lot. That's VR. Yeah, and this window's a little weird. You can't. You would think you could like just grab this and just roll it down. It only goes down kind of like so far. Oh, that went all the way down. Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, so you can like the BRS, you can like visualize that. Let me do this. Hello. Oh my God. I have to fix that. That's wrong. Oh no, that shouldn't be that long. I mean, seriously. So let me do gaze. Okay, so this is make you smaller. Okay, so this is gaze. So control camera, debug gaze. If I click on something's a little weird here, so edit back one, enter. All right. So put you over here. So you see out at the distance there, you see that cross? That's gaze. So you can see there's a green cross, and then there is, I think it's kind of like a red line. So you can see. Is this coming across on the stream? Can you see the two green crosses with the red in the middle? Okay. They're not very thick, so that may be a problem. They're quite thin. So right now, between the top two gauges there's two green crosses and a red line going across them horizontally. So basically what that is, okay. So basically what that is, that's where your gaze is. So this is where my headset is looking. It's not where my eyes are looking. It's where my headset is looking. So that's why when I go up here, so I'm down here, and I can see out of the top of my lenses, I can see that the scene is brighter. When I look up here, it gets darker. When I look down here, this was darker, now it gets brighter. And it is where that gaze, those crosses, where they're looking, that's where that happens at. So that is, just do our good old data rep tool, just type in gaze. Now, here's the funny part, is that you have a gaze, a PSI, and a gaze THE. They're not active. I don't know why they're not. Oh yeah. For troubleshooting, for sure. But I don't know why the gaze, the numbers aren't live. I don't know why they're not. Trying to think. I have seen them live in the past, and I can't remember what I had to do, but yeah. That's a pretty nice feature. So you just put it back to 0, and then they're gone. So I mean, like all in all, I mean there is a lot of there's a lot of really really nice features that they added. I mean there really is. So I am quite happy, and uh other than my, and this is my unique VR controller image issue. No, it's all good. It's all good, and it's seemingly being pretty well received. There's it's like people are talking about like shimmering, and I'm kind of like looking for shimmering. So if I look at this building, the hangar here, let's see. I don't see a lot of shimmering. There may be a little bit. I don't see a lot. But on the other hand, if I look at the fence, yeah, the fence has some shimmer to it. If I look at the light pole, it doesn't. so a fence, that's pretty difficult. Where basically, you're looking through the fence, so that's part of the problem. But it's like, well, that doesn't look good. Well, okay, I wish we had real powerful computers where we could do all this. But on the other hand, Laminar doesn't quite have all the tools to fix all this stuff yet either. So that's coming, but not today. There seems to be some people both on the Discord and on xplane.org that seemingly are having, they've got it to work. So maybe not from Laminar, because what I am happy to see is there's a lot of people exploring, a lot of people, and that's cool, so and then, so you have a lot of people exploring, then you have other people that you have to hold my hand, and it's kind of like yeah, I would, I mean, so oh, you weren't here when I did this. Do you remember if you did this? So you like clicked on, say, one of these screens, like a 530? Do you remember what it used to do? Where it used to put that image here in 2D? It doesn't do that anymore. I was glad that was one that got fixed. Because I would inadvertently click the on the G1000 all the time, and then I'd have a G1000 in 2D on the on the desktop, and I'm like, good lord. Oh, so I clicked on the 530. So you see it turned to orange. So normally what that would mean is that in 2D, that image would be there. You'd have a 530 here, popped out. Well, if you're in VR, it won't do that anymore. That makes sense? Yeah, because I would inadvertently do it all the time, and so I'm like, oh wait a minute, can we have this fixed? This is VR, So yep, they got it fixed. So that's what I mean. I mean, a lot of things got. I probably did, man. I bet you I did 10 bugs. So if out of my 10 bugs, only one of them hasn't been fixed yet, no, that ain't too bad. You know, I can be a little bit understanding, you know, so. But the other thing people were talking about, I gotta go over, it's the only way I can show this. I gotta get over here and do this. So, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this, this. Okay. So basically what I did is I said I told it I want to use Steam VR. So surprise, surprise, my controllers work. Or the VR image is there. So what I wanted to show is I'm experiencing this. That distance is the same. So it'll be interesting when I get it working with OpenXR if it'll be the same. But that distance is the same for 12.4.3 and 12.4.2. That distance is the same. I have people. I'm hearing people that are on the Quest, and they're saying it's not the same. And but I also think they're using hand tracking. So I'll kind of show that. So I can come down here, and I can easily hit every switch here without any effort. No effort at all. On the other hand, back over here. Oops. Yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it like this. So I'm going to disable this. Yeah. I want to put so that it's not going to, and I'm going to enable hand tracking. Now. All right. Now we got our hands. So the cool thing is that as it thinks I have hand tracking, I can use hand tracking. But this is useless. So check that out. How do you know where? Look at that. I'm barely moving it. That's useless. That is useless. And I think that's what they're talking about. Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, it is like, wow. You know? I mean, you know. So so let me ask you this. No, not even close. Not even close. So do you when you turn hand tracking on, do your controllers also show or not? Just get the hand outline. Okay. And if you turn the hand tracking off, then your controllers show? We may be really closer to what my issue is. Just from that information. Because it thinks I have hand tracking, so it turned the controllers off. Interesting. So did you ever look For your controllers? Are your controllers in the same place mine are? And you just never looked? Or never saw them? Correct. But you can move your controllers around. It would be interesting to see if you can actually see the controllers if they're on. I mean, correct. But if your controller is on, I wonder if it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't have a Quest. That's why I'm asking the question. It's kind of interesting. Correct. Yeah. I am curious because I'm not using my hands. I'm using my controllers. So, because my headset doesn't have any cameras to see my hand, so this may be like this may have it really screwed up, and it may be something that they really didn't think about. So, very interesting. Yeah, and yeah. So, okay, right, but the problem is that for some reason in the big screens however they set up their OpenXR, they basically have enabled hand tracking. So it's kind of like, really? And I haven't heard back from them, but it's a weekend, so. But I'm sure I'll hear back from them on Monday or Tuesday. But yeah. But I kind of think this is what's going on. So very interesting. Yeah. So with data rep tool. No problem. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I kind of got across what I want. Well, like I said, I was not. There's no way I can fly. I cannot. There's no way I can fly with like this. That ain't not gonna work. And but until I get my the controllers, the VR controller image working. Yeah, I'm really curious on what the deal is there, because that's just wrong. And I looked to see, is there a way I can override it and just say, no, that's not true, and but I can't. I haven't found any place where I could actually do that. And then the other place I looked was in. I looked. Where? So I looked. So I looked for hand. Oh, that's something else. If you make this smaller, it needs to stay smaller. Hand. And okay, so we have. Whoops. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. So we have this graphics VR hand tracking enabled. It's 1, because that's enabled. This left and right, I thought I could like turn that off. But as it turns out, where'd you go? There it is. As it turns out, it's read only, so I can't change it. so I thought I could just turn them off, and you know, disable this and turn these off. Maybe that'd work. But when it's read only, that's not an opportunity for me. So kind of at a loss until I get some feedback. So. Not sure why I did that. Alrighty, think I'm gonna wrap it up. And kind of interesting to do a little exploring today. And I'll shove this up on YouTube and kind of go from there. So yeah, I'd like to hear back from both Big Screen and Laminar, and see if we can get this resolved. I am from what you're saying is that makes all kinds of sense. What's going on here? That makes all kinds of sense. Is that that's why the controllers aren't showing? Is that it thinks I actually have hand tracking? So, okie dokie. Y'all have a great day, and if you enjoy this crazy content in VR, please click on the follow button so that you kind of know when I go live. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by, Ralph. Bye-bye.